Hello, everyone, and welcome to my podcast. My name is Lynette. Today, we're going to talk about why make yourself miserable. And one of the ways we make ourselves miserable is the way we process things. For example, we'll take relationships right now, and it doesn't necessarily mean a romantic relationship, but a relationship with your boss, with your friend, with anybody. And it's to assume the negative, assume they're mad at you, assume they didn't feel like you did the job correctly. In other words, your mind is going to the negative, when in reality, if you believe and if you know that you did things good, you did things right, you're a good person, you can count on yourself, then the reality of the whole situation is it's not about you. If you're getting a weird vibe from someone, it's not necessarily that you did something wrong. And 9 times out of 10, the way they're acting towards you has nothing to do with you. But if you go through life looking through those type of binoculars, thinking that people are mad at you, that perhaps you did something wrong, that perhaps you didn't do a good job, then you're going to be miserable. But if you can twist it and flip it and realize and think, no, I know they're not mad at me. I know I'm confident about this. But first and foremost, it doesn't matter what they think. But if you do dwell on what they think, you got to let it play out. No matter how much time lapses, don't make yourself miserable thinking about what they may be thinking. And by they, I mean other people that you have some sort of encounter or relationship with. Just know that you're walking and doing the best that you can do. And it is more than likely has nothing to do with you when somebody is in a negative vibe. It usually has nothing to do with you. But the main thing is to realize life is short and we only have one life to live. And we can choose to live it in the negative realm or in the positive realm. There is no gray area. You're either negative or positive. So if you continue to look at things in a negative manner, then you're going to make yourself miserable. But if you just know that everything will work out, that you're giving your best self to whatever the situation is, and you just know that more than likely what you're experiencing from another person in your relationship has nothing to do with you, then you're going to be at peace. You're going to have a calm, and you're not going to dwell and let these racing thoughts go through your head. The other thing, and this holds true for all of us, I think the closer we are to an individual, whether it be our children, our spouse, our friends, whoever it is, the more you care about them, the more you worry about them. But you make yourself miserable by worrying because that's a very negative emotion. And if someone you love and care about is going through a bad situation, you want to almost try to fix it for them. Or you feel what you think is the emotions that they're feeling. But honestly, all you really need to be for someone is their confidant, to let them talk to you, to be there for them, to be supportive. But you do not need to take on other people's problems because this will make you miserable. And also, you got to understand that everybody is on their own journey. Everybody is on this path in life. We all have different things that we need to learn that will make us basically our best selves or who we want to be. And if you interrupt that journey, you're actually depriving that person of learning their lesson to make them a better human being, to make them more of who they should be. So by taking on situations and feeling the negative emotions because you're so worried about someone, it doesn't do them any good. And it certainly doesn't do you any good. So just know that the person that you care about What they're going through is part of their personal journey. It's what they need to learn, what they need to live at that moment. The only thing you need to be is there, is listen. Sometimes it's all people want is someone to listen. But try not to take on other people's stuff, and especially try not to fix it for them. To take on the emotions or the emotions that we think that they're having. To let them bring you down. To let them ruin your moment or ruin your day. You might be feeling worse than they do. And it doesn't do anybody any good. Like I mentioned earlier, it especially does not do you any good. And you got to have confidence that people can work things out. And oftentimes even better than we imagined. Even better than we thought we could work it out for them. For you to worry and be mad, sad, glad for somebody else doesn't do any good for them. You need to revert it back and let them try to work it out. If you'll notice, when you lose sleep because of what somebody else is going through, it doesn't solve their problem. It only makes you miserable alongside of them. And we need to figure out our own lessons. All anybody else needs from us is emotional support. And that's actually the very best thing you can give. I don't know if you've experienced this, but when you're there for someone all the time, no matter what they're going through, in some cases, pretty soon, they start calling you for frivolous things. And in essence, they leave you holding the bag. I've had it happen where somebody dumps their stuff all over me and I feel terrible. I feel horrible for them. And they walk away very happy. So you have to be careful for that as well. You have to be careful about taking on somebody else's stuff. As I said, we're all individuals. We're all on our own journey. We all have our own lessons to learn. And we can't try to fix it for someone else. We can't try to make it go away. We can't try to make it right. We can be there for them, but they need to take the steps that it takes to make it right. So many people make the mistake of, in essence, giving too much, trying to make everything good for their loved one or whoever it is. The person they're doing it for is losing out on learning to stand on their own 2 feet. And what happens is another situation arises. So you're ending up basically living this life for someone else. And then if you're no longer in the picture, then what happens to them? But the big picture is, think about you, and it's not selfish to think about you, but think about what it does to you. So again, I want to sum it up by saying, be there for the emotional support. Be there to listen to them. Be there as they take their steps and things start to unfold and get into a better place, and listen to them, listen to their excitement. And be there as they become more well-rounded individuals. And in the very end, you can celebrate together. And if you're on the other side of the fence, if you're the person that's going through what I would call some sort of crisis, where you need something to sustain your lifestyle, most people learn confidence by whoever mentored them, who raised them. They were told they can. And if you were lucky enough to be raised by parents or somebody who always fed you that positivity, then God bless you. You really hit the jackpot. But if you were not, and you've reached an age where you're old enough to recognize that you're lacking in some area, or you wish you felt more secure, more confident in some area, remember, and this is key, that you can raise yourself. You can actually, as you are right now, look at yourself. You can even look at yourself when you were a young child and think about the things they went through and they were too young to defend themselves. But let them know that you are now a caring adult and you will protect them. But if you are an adult right now and you want to feel that confidence, you can raise yourself the way that you wish somebody would have raised you. You can raise yourself, feeding yourself with positivity and developing that confidence. And, I'm going to back up on this podcast, for example. I think this is the 65th episode. And when I started, and actually through all the episodes, first of all, I felt spiritually guided when I made them. So I would just speak to you, not even writing down what I'm going to say, except for taking some notes to kind of jar my memory. And I wouldn't listen to them afterwards. But now and then I would have to listen to them. I don't know, for editing or some other purpose. And I would say to myself, wow. I would learn something, believe it or not, from my own speaking, from my own podcast. And over all these episodes, it's been going on for several years now, I think, I slowly learned so much myself that after listening to all of this and letting it get instilled in my being, it has slowly changed me. It's not something that happens overnight. You don't try something and boom, next week you're a new person. But I am amazed after all these years, the changes that I've made myself. And I'm learning from these podcasts just as I hope you are too. A friend said to me, "You've really changed, haven't you?" And I didn't comment. I'm assuming she meant for the better. I hope that's what she meant. But I didn't even comment on what she said because I felt the change. And it was subtle. Like I said, 65 episodes in, even if you get a little epiphany out of each one, over time that builds up. And that's what makes the changes within yourself. In fact, most of these are, I think the longest one is 20 minutes. So most of them are even shorter than that. So I would recommend going back and listening to each one. Has a subtle message. Not always subtle, sometimes more of a concrete message. But there's something in each one that you could get. And if you start at the beginning and really think about the message that you're getting, the epiphany, then it slowly changes you to be the person that you want to be. If you do that, and if you practice it, you will be amazed the difference it makes in your life. Like I said, it's subtle. It's not one of these magic pills that you take and you're better tomorrow. But you will one day look back and you will say, wow, I've come a long way. I'm different than I used to be. I'm not bothered by the things that used to bother me. Basically, I can stand on my own 2 feet and stand there with confidence and love people and be happy for people. That's what I found, that the better you feel about yourself in your life, the happier you can be for others. And then they feel that, and all relationships develop into a better situation. And it is amazing how all of this goes full circle to where it's a clear blueprint on making your life, your relationships so much better and making you so much stronger and so much confident and so much more peace in everything you do. To sum up what we've talked about is, don't let your imagination run wild with you and make a situation into a negative, and you will eventually learn it and you will see it, that usually it's not what you think. So you might as well think about it in a positive way. And the other thing is, when someone that we care about very much is going through something, we can't take it on for them. We can be there for emotional support, but it doesn't do you any good. And they are on their own individual journey. So let them learn, but be there. You can still be there for them and let them celebrate that they're getting stronger and more confident. And on the other hand, from that, if we ourselves are on the other end of the stick and we are going through a rough time, and there's something that we wish we would have been taught or we wish we were more confident in, then we can literally and absolutely raise ourselves. And I recommend going back and listening to previous episodes. As I said, they're not very long, and you will be surprised at the difference. You take each one, process it, get what you can out of it, get the epiphany. And one day you will look back when you're stronger, more at peace, more confident, and your life, your world becomes a better place. So with all that being said, I hope you have a wonderful week, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.